Hi there, this is Linda, and I'm back with another December Daily 2023 process video. In this video, I'm going to be putting together pages 10 through 13. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Okay, so it is currently December 14th, and I haven't touched this since I finished day 9 on the 10th. So I wanted to do the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th today. And I knew that some of these days were going to be super busy. I have a really crazy busy work schedule this month. So I purposefully planned some simple spreads, especially during the week when I knew I was going to be working. So I want to give you kind of like a brief overview of what my plan is here. And I'm actually going to go through my calendar here, because I totally forgot to do this on the last one. But so on the 8th, I documented the craft community. And the 9th, I did the tree collection, which I put them down here as the 8 and 9. So those are done. So then I know I have 11 is this around the house. 12 is ing words. 13 was originally college move out, but summer came home early, so I'm documenting that here on the 10th. And then on the 13th, I'm going to do ornaments, a story about new ornaments. And then I'm just thinking ahead, so I am still baking cookies on the 16th. I have my ornament foundation page lined up for the 14th. Here I have brunch with Jen. And so that will probably be my story there. I'm going to have a work thing around here. This hearing is actually 2 days now. And then this is my work Christmas party. But I don't think I'm going to document all that much work stuff. So I will probably, I'm not entirely sure yet what stories, but I am wanting to be cognizant of the fact that I do really want to tell the story of my advent calendar and Pumpkin's advent calendar, and of my wrapping paper, especially my wrapping paper. So I just want to make sure that that makes it in here. So I'm just keeping in mind I have just a few days here left that are kind of unaccounted for. I'm thinking my ornament foundation page is here. Foundation page. Which, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, that's this foundation page that I made with these ornaments where each person, so me, my daughter, and my cat, have like their own little ornament with a pocket where I could put something on here. And I was thinking I might do a photo, but I might do like words or something. I'm not sure yet. I was thinking I might do like a story about like how we are finding ease or comfort or coziness this season, because that's just kind of what I'm craving right now. But that's not what I'm working on yet. So for day 10, I'm going to tell the story of my daughter moving out from college. So she came home early. So if you don't know, she goes to college locally, but she does live in the dorms. So it's only about like a 20-minute drive for her to get home. So she had her last final on Friday the 8th, and she actually came home on Saturday the 9th in the evening. But I had plans with a friend, so she came home right as I was leaving, and we saw each other for like 5 minutes. And then on the 10th was the first time I actually kind of like spent time with her. But she came home early, partially because she was feeling really sick and not having a great time. So she kind of came home in not the best mood. And it kind of made me feel not super, holiday cheery. That combined with like work has been really stressful. So this is part of the reason why I haven't touched this project in a few days. I just wasn't feeling it. So I have this in here as a foundation page. And originally I was thinking of doing large stamping that said summer came home early, not really feeling, merry, but I don't want to take this out, and I think that large stamping behind it will just look busy. So then I got the idea to kind of just do a large pattern paper behind here. So I want to do this one, which is the same as my album, and this tag here. And I'm just going to cut it to 7 inches by 8 1/4, which is the height that already is. And I'm going to use this to put here And I'm thinking I'm going to kind of design the page around this so that it will be behind here, but then this can flip up. And then this is I'm going to stamp in here probably like summer came home early, and just a little bit about feeling kind of like not super seasonal, not super cheery, and put the number on here, and it will be a photo list spread. So that will be day 10. Day 11, I had this tag here that says around the house. I'm going to take that number off. And I wanted to talk about, originally I was thinking I would just do like decoration around the house. So I did print this one, which is like my new Santa and like my joy sign, which I've had for years. But I really printed that just to have an additional photo, because I wanted 4 and then 1 for journaling, and then a large photo here. But I'm going to do the story of like things I'm doing around the house right now, because I'm spending a lot of time at home. And so I wanted to put this one here, and I'll put 11 and do some journaling in here and adhere those down. And then day 12 is going to be super simple, just these ing words. I'm just going to do some journaling on it. And then day 13 is going to be in here about new ornaments we got this year. So I have 2 here. I have one that I got and one that I got for my daughter. And I'm thinking actually I am going to pull this out. So there's one more of these, and each one came with one of these cards. And I'm just going to put 2 of them in here. So there's one for each of our ornaments. And if I end up using the other pocket, I'll just, have to make my own card, which is totally fine. But I like that. And I like how the tags are not in the same spot. So it's kind of designed for you to do this. So that is kind of my initial thought. And I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on fast forward. Oh, the one last thing I want to talk about were the advent calendar. So for day 10, it was actually the stickers that I used on 9. So I do have those still. I don't think I will use them because it's like across from it. And there's also this text. So I'm thinking that I'm just going to leave it alone. And then day 11 were these labels. I'm not sure that I want to use those on day 11, but we'll see. Day 12 was this tag that honestly, I don't really like it. But day 12 is a tag page. So I feel like it is already kind of an ode to it, but I just don't see myself using this ever. So I'm probably not going to use it there. And then day 13 are these, which I absolutely love these. So I'm going to see if maybe I can make one work, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do one like on here like that. I think that would be super cute. So 13 will probably be the only one that I would maybe use. But otherwise, oh, and about this tag, like, I don't mean to like hate on it. Like it is perfectly cute and fine. It's just, I don't know. I just don't think I will use it. I have so many tags right now, and that's just not one that's speaking to me at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put you guys on fast forward and get this page put together. Okay, so I initially planned to put together all of these spreads in one sitting, but I ended up doing 10, 11, and 12 the first day that I was working on this, and then I came back and did 13 the following morning. So I used to do December daily, where I worked on this project each day, or tried to at least. And for me, I found that just doesn't work because I don't tend to have scrapping time every single day. And I also like to have some breaks from it, just, to do other things and to relax and stuff after a longer work day. So for me, it works to do like 3 to 4 pages at a time and then put the album away for a few days. So right now, I am working on day 10. And what I did was just simply cropped down that green pattern paper, which was my favorite paper from this year's collection. It matches the album. And it was also on a lot of the tags and things. And I'm just making a point to use them all in this album so that this pattern really goes in this year, because to me, it really feels like that's like the iconic 2023 pattern in my mind. I've also found that this album is turning out way more green than red. I don't know if it's because of this paper or just what I've been gravitating towards, but that's kind of the trend I've found so far this year.
So I did my journaling. Well, I did my stamping to start my journaling on the gold circle. And then I pulled out some other circles to try to do like a layered line of circles on the page. I wanted to leave most of the pattern paper blank, but I wanted to add a little bit of embellishment to the spread. And of course, I'm going to add a number 10. I added one of the fabric circles, and I'm just not I wasn't a huge fan of the circles. I love the concept, but I feel like they need something. So what I decided to do was stitch them down with some embroidery floss, and I really, really love how that turned out. You'll see me do that pretty soon. I feel like it's harder to see it on the screen than it is in person. I love the texture of it, and I think I might use more of these in another spread in my album and just maybe do more stitching. For the stitching that I did, I don't think I punched enough holes in the fabric circle itself. I would have preferred to have more in the circle and less like on the side, but I do really love how it turned out. So I stopped to do my journaling there because I wanted to journal while the page was still flat. And once you do the stitching, you're going to have this taped on the back so it won't lay perfectly flat. And then I'm just using some embroidery floss and just stitching little X's, 2 on the fabric circle and 1 on the additional circle that says Noel, just to kind of tie it all together. And I used like a lighter green. I wanted it to have a little bit of contrast to the paper so that it stood out, but I didn't want it to stand out too much. Now I'm going through my bag of 10s to try to find a number for this page and decided I wanted something smaller. So I put the numbers away and pulled out these puffy sticker numbers. I think that these were in the advent calendar, either this year or maybe last year. And then I pulled over my metallic washi tapes and selected 2, one that's a white one that has like a gold pattern on it and one that's a gold stripe, to create a base for my puffy numbers so that they're not just kind of floating out there on the circle here without something kind of anchoring them down. And then I put the 10 on there. And then I decided to add just a few more embellishments by pulling over some of the white word phrase strips and adding a few of them on here, just in a few scattered spots. I've never really used word phrase strips in this way before, and I really like how it worked, or how it looks, having them kind of scattered on the page as some embellishments. And I do end up moving that one out a little bit because I feel like the way that I did them on the page, the pattern, is kind of like what I tend to do with like enamel dots. And I really like how it turned out with the word phrase strips. That's a technique I might use again in the future. So I'm moving on to day 11, which is going to be this full page photo of my puzzle in progress on the left-hand side, and then this tag on the right. I adhered down my 3 photos that I had cropped out at the beginning into 3 of the quadrants, and then my plan is to do my journaling in that 4th quadrant. I'm going to put my number 11 on the left-hand side there. I pulled out an 11. I wanted something that was white, so I selected this one that's white with gold. It's a chipboard number, and I can't remember if that was from this year's collection or last year's collection, but I really loved this number set. And I wanted something to kind of anchor it down, so I used one of the sticker strips from the advent calendar. And then I'm trying to find something else to go behind it, and I end up pulling one of these stars. These were an add-on to one of the story kits. I can't remember which month it was, maybe in like October or November this year. And I decided to use this larger red one and have it go behind the 11 and also onto hang over the word strip there on part of the portion that doesn't have words, so it's not covering up any of the text. And then I added the 11 on there, and I like that created a home for the 11. And then on the right-hand side, I'm just doing some handwritten journaling that is going to be about just relaxing at home and some of the activities that I've enjoyed around the house this season. On this tag, you can see that I have a ribbon at the top. I added that during my foundation page prep when I put this tag together with the one that's on the back to back, and added it there. So it is bringing in a bit of that red, or it's more of a pink, but I feel like that works really well to have the star that's also that light red to tie it together. I felt like this tag just needed something else, so I ended up finding a sticker in my stash that says it's starting to feel a lot like Christmas, and I went ahead and stuck that down at the base there. And I think that was maybe from last year's advent calendar. and I'm calling this one done. I decided to adhere the days 10 and 11 back to back and punch the holes next so that I could go ahead and slip day 10 into my album while I work on day 12. So like I said at the beginning of this voiceover, I initially thought that I was going to finish this in the one sitting, and I was kind of running out of time. So I was going a little bit quickly, and that's part of the reason I decided to stop and work on day 13 separately. But I did go fairly quickly on day 12, and that's a reminder that some of these stories can be super, super quick. So I'm working on my sampler page here, and what I decided to do for day 10 was just use a scrap of that green pattern paper that I love so much, and I punched a hole out from it so you could see the number. And then for day 11, I used another one of these strips and cropped it down so that it would fit in the circle shape. And that is how I am documenting day 11, because I did use one of those strips on day 11. And I think that the sampler is just a great way to use up some of those scraps and extra products, because I do have so many pieces and I'm just loving how it's coming together. For day 12, I have this ing tag. So it says watching, reading, listening, eating, wishing, playing, making, and celebrating. So I decided to just use my pen and my, what is it called? It is a Tombow Fudenosuke pen that you can see I'm using there to do the thicker text. And I wasn't really loving my handwriting right now on this paper, but I still played with it and did the different styles of handwriting and had a lot of fun just kind of filling these in very quickly. Like I said, this page came together super quickly. If I wanted to make this a more time-consuming spread, I think I could have paired this tag with one of the pocket pages that has the 2x2 squares and put a 2x2 screenshot or photo to match each of these ing words. And I think that would have been a super fun spread. But as it is, I decided to go super simple and just do the ing words here. Then what I end up doing is the same type of thing on my sampler page, because I didn't really add any embellishments here. All I'm doing is the journaling. And so what I end up doing on the sampler page, which you will see in a few minutes, is I'm just going to write currently and then all the ing words in that circle that's kind of reminiscent of the circles on this page. I was going ahead and kind of thinking about what I wanted to do. And for celebrating, I didn't really have a good one. So then I realized I wanted to do all the little wins, because that's kind of what I'm doing this season. And that's kind of the theme of my season. So I pulled over these gold numbers and just put a small 12 there at the top of the tag. And I'm slipping the tag into my album. You can see how 10, 11, and 12 came together. And then, as I said, I'm going to quickly do this tag here for my sampler page. At this point is when I decided that I wanted to put this project away for the evening and come back to it in the morning to finish day 13. Because, like I said, I was kind of getting tired, and I feel like that comes across in the page 12. I'm still happy with how it came out, but I do enjoy working on this project more when I have the time to sit there and really, take my time. So day 13, what I'm doing is documenting some ornaments. So I originally had planned this foundation page thinking this would be about Summer coming home from college, because this was the day she was originally scheduled to come home, but she did come home early. So I documented that on the 10th. Now, I could have moved this foundation page to do this one for the 10th, but I didn't actually have a good idea for how I wanted to document it in this pocket. And I decided that this one would be fun to use to document the new ornaments we got this year. My daughter and I each got a new ornament, and I thought it would be fun to tell the story of each of them. However, that's 2 ornaments, and I wanted to also put a title and some journaling. So I decided to take the 4x4 card out of the other pocket, the third one that I have not yet used. I think it says Noel on it, and use it in here. So I would put 2 pockets in here, and it works really well because the tabs are staggered. So this one has a tab that's centered, and the other one you can see there has it on the right hand side. So I'm using both of those in this one pocket. And then when I choose to use the third pocket, I will just have to make my own insert, which isn't a big deal at all. So I stamped on here new ornaments, and you saw me comparing all of my different Alpha stamps. A lot of those are the recent Alphas Are Awesome stamp sets. And I really considered doing the tall, narrow one, but I could only fit 2 rows. And so I decided to do this one instead. And then I wanted to fill in these blank spots with a few stickers. That one that I just added there was from Felicity Jane, a brand that is no longer in business, but it was from their final December kit. And then I added a star that went with it. I wanted to stick with the muted colors because, as you can see, that Felicity Jane sticker sheet is much more muted than the ones from Ali Edwards, which are most of the ones in my collection. Next, I'm moving on to this other card here, and I'm trying to decide how to embellish it. So I want to do my journaling on here, but I decided I wanted some sort of embellishment also so that it wasn't just a full card of journaling. So what I decided to do was add some washi and the sticker that had a little ornament on it. And I'm looking through the word phrase strips to see if any of these would look good on there as well. And what I end up doing is adding one that says something new right there. I do end up coming back to add more washi, but next I decide to start my journaling. And I decided to journal a little bit about, kind of an introduction to my tree and the ornaments I have on it, and how I am adding a few sentimental ornaments to my collection each year. And then this year, how we each got one new ornament, one for summer and one for me. Then what I end up doing is stamping out for summer and for me. And that way I can add a little bit of journaling about each one. For summer, I got her an ornament that was from her college. So she is a freshman in college this year. So it just made sense to get her one with her college logo and mascot on it. So that is that wooden one you can see right there at the top of the 2 photos next to my hand. And then the second one was for me. So I didn't actually pick one out for myself. Instead, I got the Ali Edwards one from the collection this year, which was a gift from Ali Edwards for doing something with their products and contributing so much to their December daily content. So it was really special to me for that reason. I added a little bit more washi. You could see there at the top because I didn't like that white gap. And then I'm adhering these 2 photos onto the backs of these cards. I wanted to add these little tab stickers to the backs of the tabs to identify Summer's and mine, but I didn't love how it looked because they are much smaller than the tab itself. So what I ended up doing was using this washi tape, which is from Rifle Paper Co., to line the back of the tab and part of the edge of the card that sticks out above the photo. And I just trimmed it along the edge with my scissors so that there was just that kind of the background on there of the washi tape. And then I stuck those tabs down on the back of that. If this was not on the back of a card, I would have loved to be able to staple those tabs in place, but the staple would have shown through on the front. I also had to be cognizant of the fact that I'm fitting both of these into that narrow pocket, so I couldn't put anything dimensional onto these cards. I slipped them both into the pocket, and then the next thing I needed to do was pick out a number. So this was day 13, so I went to look through my day 13 number pocket. I was also putting away some of the 11s and 12s I had out from the advent calendar. And I decided to use this big white 13 because I thought that would just pop on this pocket here. So I added that. And then I decided to not do my page for my sampler page at the moment because I decided what I wanted to do was print an extra photo that was one of the ornaments. And so I would do that the next time I'm working on my album. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for being here. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I hope to see you guys all in the next one. Bye.